Hi, I'm Anna Chandy, and today I'm going to actually be speaking of a topic that is very, very close to my heart. It's called People and Principles, and I chanced upon understanding this theme of peoples and principles during these uncertain times and the COVID pandemic in my morning walks. Very often we feel stuck or we feel conflicted when we are in a relationship with someone and our ideas or our values are different, and therefore we feel stuck because we don't know how to proceed, go further, or engage, because somewhere there's a misalignment between the two of us, and it seems that we are like what we say black and white or chalk and cheese. So, what is a principle? A principle is actually deeply rooted in our values and deeply rooted in what we term as some of our core values. The principle acts as a guide to give us direction how we move forward. It also becomes a barometer for us to evaluate how we are functioning, how we are proceeding, and how we are moving ahead. Now, how do we apply this theme, people and principles, in our daily lives, in our relationships, whether they are personal, whether they are professional, whether they are organizational, whether they are now community relationships? All of us have been living in communities, the residents' welfare organizations or associations. So this people and principles theme is applicable in all areas or in all our worlds. What we need to understand is very often in a relationship between two people, when there is a hiccup or there's a conflict, what we need to take a step back and reflect is, what is the conflict about? Most often the conflict is about a clash of underlying values. These values may be known and open and out in the open, or it may be covert and unknown. So let me start with a story of what happened to me recently. Many years ago, I belonged in a training group, and in this training group there were some difficulties among the various members, and there was a lot of persecution, a lot of victimization, and a lot of blame. One particular person blamed me for some of the conflict, and I felt very victimized. This happened over 2 decades ago. I had moved on and she had moved on, and I assume all the members of the training group had also moved on. Recently, during these times, I received a call from the person who actually persecuted me and blamed me, and she caught me by surprise because she was calling almost after 20 years, and yet she engaged with me as if nothing had happened. During this exchange, she also requested me that I write a little note for the training group because they were all reconnecting, and she wanted me also to be part of that reconnecting reunion meet. Because I was caught by surprise, I agreed without really thinking it through. Post the conversation, I started feeling a sense of discomfort in my body. My stomach, which is my barometer, was just not feeling settled. I ignored it for a few days, and every time I took a pen and paper to write the note, I was not able to write even one single sentence. After some deep reflection and work, I realized what had happened. I had moved on, and my value of being authentic and real in situations was being not followed by me. How did I not follow it? By agreeing to just go to this reunion and agreeing to write this note just so that I am liked and accepted by the training group. I had agreed because of that, and yet I felt inauthentic to myself. My value of authenticity was not being followed, and it is a value that I hold very dear to me. This unsettling and this discomfort in my stomach was an example that you have gone astray or you've moved away from a deeply held value. The next day, I sent a note to this lady saying, in retrospect, since I moved on, I would not be able to attend the reunion, and I would also refrain from writing this note because I will not be genuine. The moment I acted out what was in sync with my value, my whole body felt a ha and felt settled. My stomach was once again feeling settled and balanced. This indicated that I had come back to be guided by my deeply held value of authenticity. Now, most often when there is a conflict or there are difficulties between people or groups, what we need to examine is which value of whose is being challenged, and we have to make choices between giving up the value or giving up the relationship. And that is a difficult choice, yet a very important choice for our individual well-being and for our self-care. So, how do we know that our values are being challenged? One is when there's conflict. Listen to your body. Listen to the sensations in your body, because your body talks. In one of my earlier YouTube videos, I had shared there is a wonderful book called The Body Keeps a Score by Bessel van der Kolk. In that book, you will learn how every experience of ours is remembered by the cells in our body. So the first step is listen to your body sensations. The second step is when you are in self-reflection on a daily basis, identify just 2 or 3, maximum 3 core values that guide and also become the barometer for you to live your daily life. Those core values belong to you, they are precious to you, and they help you not only cope life stresses, but they also help you to lead a satisfied life. Step 3. While it may seem difficult that how do we give up relationships for something that is so abstract as a value. While a value may be abstract, it is your inner soul, it is your inner being, it is really who you are and who your identity is as a person. So it's okay to give up a relationship so that your value, which is most important to you, which is part of your core, part of your inner being, to hold on to that. And the fourth point that I will tell you is, remember, in relationships, as we evolve and we keep moving relationships or we let go relationships, that's not because there's a fight or there's something that we don't like. It's just because we move on, and as we evolve, we leave something behind. What we don't leave behind as we evolve is our core values. So the final point which I tell you is, people and principle is a very valuable theme, and that sometimes we may need to make choices between the principle and the person if there are difficulties, because our values are our inner core and they guide us to healthy self care which is needed for a satisfying life. Thank you. So, another example that I would like to share with you is one which again I revisit this example very often. Many years ago, my daughter was bullied in a school, and because it was a very well known public school and there were a lot of alumni, a whole team of alumni ganged up against me because they wanted me to sign a document against the school. Since I refrained from signing the document, they ganged up and tried to bully me. That incident left a deep scar on me because one of the main members who ganged up was somebody I considered very close and loyal to me. This left me with a very sad feeling. Several years later, I meet this person and she treats me like she is one of my most trusted, loyal friends. However, what happened inside of me? My principle of loyalty was questioned. And again, because loyalty is a core value for me, I decided that I will only engage with this person socially, but I would not have a deep, meaningful relationship, and that my principle of loyalty is far more important than being in a close friendship with somebody, although we had had many wonderful experiences together. This is again yet another example of people and principles and a choice we make.